Heyo, my name's Rufin, and I don't know how to start this video. For my 21st birthday, I've decided to go to Stuttgart with my mom for 3 days. Our plan is to go drive go-karts and visit 2 car museums. This was planned a while ago. I'd say we have planned it 2 months in advance. Also, just to be clear, we didn't go to Stuttgart during my birthday. It was the day after. Right before we went there, we packed up our things, got some sleep, and woke up early in the morning so that we can catch a bus in time. To those who don't know, Stuttgart is a city located in the Baden-Württemberg region of Germany. I used to live in Bavaria. It's a little bit far away from the city, so in order to get there, we had to catch a bus that took us to a train station, where we then got onto a train, got on another train, because the previous one doesn't go straight to the city, and then we finally made it to Stuttgart. The trip took about 3.5 hours. While we were heading to our destination, I've heard a family right next to us speak English. Now this was surprising, as everyone else were speaking German. Did you know that in Germany, people speak German? It's true. I don't want to make assumptions, but I think they were likely Americans or Canadians.
But you just made an assumption.
Yes I did. Here, have a gold star. The kids were talking about stuff like Pokemon, and at some point talked about a fight with Mr. Beast and The Rock. Okay, they didn't go to where we were heading, in case you were wondering. They stopped at someplace else. After a long trip, we finally made it to Stuttgart. Once we finally got there, the next thing to do is figure out what the flip-flops to do next. My mom booked a hotel for 3 nights. She looked on Google Maps to find out where it is located. We went to take an U-Bahn. Once we finally got to where we needed to be, we then had to find out exactly where the hotel is at. After being a little bit confused, we finally got to the right street and eventually found it. We've got our keys and went to our room. It was tiny and well prepared. It even had a mini fridge. We left our bags and went to find a go-kart place. The name of the place is called Kartomania. When we finally got there, we didn't know where we needed to go. The place is inside of a parking lot. When we got to the first floor, we followed the sign and we found a door that looked sketchy. We went in, and the first thing I see is a drawing on the wall, and above it has someone's Discord written on it, along with a description. Right next to the drawing, there were stairs. We decided to go downstairs, and there were 2 ways where we can go. The one on the right was the exit, and the one on the left was a dark corridor with doors. We decided not to go there and go take the exit. Once we were out, we thought we were trespassing. I don't like this, not one bit. We ended up getting back to where we started, and ultimately realized that we were complete dumbleberries. Above that sketchy door has a sign that shows where to go. I didn't realize it before, but as it turns out, the up arrows shows that it's up, as in upstairs. Once we went to the right direction, we saw the place. Oh my goodness gracious, there it is! We finally found it! It's here! It's closed. We were an hour early. We went to go get some dinner. About an hour later, we went back and it was finally open. We went in, paid 17 euros for a 9-minute drive and an extra 3 euros for a mask. It's so that you can put on your racing helmet. My mom didn't want to drive, so she preferred to film me instead. I was competing against a guy and a trio who are from Japan. We waited and eventually an employee turned on the engines to our go-karts. Once the engine was on, the driving began. I haven't driven a go-kart since 2021, so I was a little bit nervous. But once I started driving, the adrenaline immediately kicked in, and I ended up finishing the race without much problem. After the race, we all got a piece of paper that showed us our position we finished in, our best time, and the overall best time in the race. My personal best time was actually the best time on the track. And it also says that I have finished the race in first place. I felt pretty good about myself. I told the trio from Japan that it was a good time, and that any bumps I made were not intentional. They were really nice people. I hope they're doing alright. After the race, my arms felt really tired. We ended our day feeling pretty tired. I mean, we did wake up early in the morning and walk during a hot day where it was 32 degrees outside, so it's not surprising. Overall, it was a good first day. We went to go get some breakfast and went to the Mercedes-Benz Museum. We eventually arrived there and it looked stylish. There was even a worker there who welcomed us. How nice. We bought our tickets and went to an elevator where it takes us to the place where the cars are at. When we got there, we were given a smartphone with headphones. They are for listening to history lessons while exploring the museum. We got on the elevator and went exploring. We started from the top floor where Mercedes began and went all the way to the bottom floor where Mercedes are today. We've seen a bunch of cool cars, like the first patented motor wagon, some older cars, some buses, some cars that were driven by celebrities, and eventually some race cars. At the bottom floor, we've seen old racing suits, some new ones, some trophies, and a very big trophy. We've had fun checking all kinds of cars they had on display, but if there's one thing I was disappointed about, was that they didn't have the SLR McLaren and the 190E. But that's not a big deal. We've got some food and went to a shop where you can buy some Mercedes merch. They sell all kinds of stuff, but if there's one cool thing they sell, in my opinion, is the $0 souvenir bill that costs €3. You can get those Euro bills all over the European Union as a souvenir. No, you can't buy anything with them. We bought what we wanted and left. I'm not a rich person, in case you were thinking. We went back to the hotel after we left the museum. We were planning on checking out the central area of Stuttgart right after being at the museum, but we were pretty tired. We decided to do that the next day when we were going to check out a different museum. The Porsche Museum. We woke up, had some breakfast like yesterday, and left the hotel. When we arrived, there were a lot of people there already. We got there an hour later after it opened. We bought our tickets and also got a smartphone with headphones. Just like at the Mercedes Museum. We used an escalator to reach the top floor and started exploring and looking at all the cool cars on display. We've seen a lot of cool Porsches, like the earlier cars before the 911, the 911, 924, 928, old race cars, new race cars, the Carrera GT, the 911 GT1 race car version, and the street version.
What is that thing doing here?
There was a tour guide that was presenting the cars to a family group, and at one of the cars, the Porsche 901 to be more specific, the guy was asking the kid,
"Do you know what other company used the number 0 in the middle for naming their cars?"
I answered, that would be Peugeot. He pointed at me and said,
"Exactly. This gentleman is correct. He knows his facts."
I know he wasn't asking me the question, but I don't give a fuck. I felt pretty good to get complimented like that. Probably
Because I haven't gotten any compliments for a long time.
There was a green Porsche 911 Carrera S Cabriolet on display that you can get in and take a picture. You can get your pictures printed out that you can keep. It was my first time to be behind the wheel of a Porsche, and I hope it won't be the last time. I'm allowed to have dreams, okay? Once we've seen everything there was to see, we've had some food, and after that, we checked out the shop where you can buy some Porsche merch. The stuff they sell there are pretty similar to the stuff from the Mercedes Museum. One interesting thing to mention is that they got a notebook with a pen where you can write down anything you want for free. I wrote down, look out for a YouTuber called Rufin in the near future. People gotta know.
People gotta know that I was there, and that I am going to be a YouTuber one day. People gotta know that I'm preparing for world domination.
We bought some stuff and left the museum. We then left our stuff we bought back at the hotel and decided to go explore the central area of Stuttgart. Sadly, we couldn't check out the place because it was closed off at the time when we were there. We did have dinner. Very important stuff. We woke up early in the morning, packed up our stuff, and left to the train station to catch a train back home. Yeah, that was pretty much it for day 4. Overall, me and my mom enjoyed our trip to the city of Stuttgart. I never thought I would step foot in a city where 2 legendary automotive companies are located, but it happened, and I'm happy to have experienced it. I recommend you go visit the city for yourself if you haven't already. You don't even need to understand German to get around. People understand English, so you should be just fine. When it comes to the people there, well, from my experience, no one was bothering or threatening us or anything like that. Everyone is just minding their own business. So if you're worried about how people are like, don't be. But of course, be careful out there. Anything can happen. I'd strongly advise you that you don't go out at night. I've heard that it's actually scarier to be out at night in Berlin, but I've never been there before. Maybe another time. Also, on an unrelated note, a lot of people at Stuttgart seem to be fans of AC/DC, because I've seen a lot of people wearing AC/DC shirts. So if you're a fan of the band, Stuttgart is the place to be. And, well, that's all I got to tell. Thanks for watching. This first video of mine took me 8 months to finish! So I hope you enjoyed the video, just as much as I have enjoyed making it. Now will you excuse me, I must now plan on world domination, I must now plan on making my next video. So I'll see you then. Whenever that will happen.